Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here we continue. So today we are doing basic forms in two-point perspective. Okay, so here we go. So first thing we want to draw is of course a horizon. So I'll do the horizon in pink. Now let me get rid of this line, I don't need it. Okay, so this is my paper. Let's say an A4 paper would look like this half, and this is like not here, right? This is not here, but I give you a little bit extra. Now, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to show you how to draw basic forms. So I'm going to start off with an horizon like this. Oops. And I put it roughly in the middle of my paper, right? Now, when you want to make perspective drawings, then it is very important that you put your perspective points a little bit away from the object that you're trying to draw. That's going to make it look so much better. So what do I mean with that? Well, let me show you. If I am going to draw, for example, a basic shape over here, like a little box, look. If I start drawing it over here, you can see it is going to warp a lot. See, if I go like this, for example, oops. Well, it doesn't really do it justice. Let me do a little bit better for you. Okay, so one of the limitations of perspective drawing is going to be this. If you get too close towards your points, your perspective is going to be too warped. It's going to look ugly, right? So, for example, if I wanted to draw a little, like a house over here, look. This is so extremely warped, right? So ideally what you want to do is you want to stay away a little bit from your perspective points. So there is a sweet spot. If you draw, let's say, in this area over here, your drawing is going to look really nice. If you get outside of this area, your drawing is going to look a little bit too warped. So there's two different ways you can get around this problem. Like I already do it by making my paper longer, but essentially you can either do this. If this is a normal A4 paper, you put it like this, like a letterhead paper or like a printer piece paper. Then you can put your horizon here and here, your points, and then you just draw for yourself a little box as a framework, and then you say to yourself, I only have to draw inside of this area but not outside of here. That's gonna make sure that your drawing looks good. But what if you wanted to use the whole paper? Well, you can also do that, but then my suggestion is to grab like another piece of paper, tape it to the back, two pieces of paper, rip it in half, put some tape on the back of your page, like so, on the back side, some tape, and then put your points like this. They're basically gonna give you, as you can see, the same result, right? So please keep that in mind, right? I always like to put my points on the horizon far away from my drawing. That's gonna make sure that my drawing is gonna look good. So when we've done this assignment, we're going to draw this thing. Look, and you can see here I also am running in a little bit to this problem, because even though this house is perfectly drawn in perspective, I am getting very close to my horizon points over here. Don't look at the pink line, because that's a different one. But look, it's starting to look a little bit warped, right? If I had done it like slightly smaller, the warping effect would be slightly less. The drawing would look a lot better. Okay, so that is the first thing I wanted to show you, right? So please don't get too close to the points. Okay, so up and down remain the same. So we're going to do all our different forms and shapes. So I know they're gonna warp a little bit too much, but that's okay. So first thing we're gonna do is this one. I'm going to draw 3 little blue lines like this. That's going to be my boxes. So basically I'm going to finish those as followed. I'm going to go to the right. I'll do this on, I'll do it here. Look. So I'm going to go here and here. Then I'm going to go decide, for example, how long I want it to be. Let's say here. Then I'm going to go to my green. And now I'm fully going to use my computer to make the lines nice and straight, because it's going to make it look better for you. So this one is a sort of a cube shape or form, sorry. Gotta use the right words. So you can see all of this will connect to this point over here. And this one will connect to the point over here. So this one is drawn, as you can see, and I'll leave it up, doesn't matter. Okay. Now the next one is slightly above my eyeball, right? So that means this. Here. I'm gonna go this way and this way. And I'm basically gonna draw exactly the same box, but this one is slightly above my eyeball, as you can see. So partially it's above, partially it is below, right? So this one will look something like this. Hop. And then here we go down. Perfection. Okay. Then the next one is going to be completely above my eye. So that means I'm going to be able to see underneath, right? So let's try and figure that one out. Oop. And oop. Here we go. And here we go. Hoppa. See? So this one would be our cube, right? Excellent. So I'm gonna get rid of all of the red lines now and the green ones that I don't want to see anymore. Oop. Can move a second. Those are just my lines that I use to draw these different things. And get rid of those. And then you can see that everything is pointing where it, oops, shoot. Get rid of this stuff and get rid of this stuff. Oop. There we go. Awesome. So those ones are totally correct, right? They're all using the points. Now the next one I'm going to do over here for you is going to be a pyramid. So for the pyramid we're going to start with the top, right? So I'm going to go a little bit this way. Actually, let's do that on a new layer. It's going to make my life a little bit easier. It's going to make your life a little bit easier too, because then I can turn this one down a little bit, so it's not going to interfere too much with my drawing. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit this way 2 times. Then I'm going to go a little bit this way 2 times, because I'm trying to find, oops, the bottom piece for my pyramid. And then look, the next thing I'm going to do is say, okay, well, where's the middle? The middle is here, right? Then I can go up, let's say till here, and then I can connect. I'll do it in orange. There we go, look. So that would be a pyramid. See, that's how you do that. That's why, guys, it's so important that you can draw the crosses, right? Now I am going to get rid of this. I just wanted you to know that you can find the middle, right? That's important. And I'm going to run out of space here a little bit. That's why I'm going to stop there and continue here. Look. Now if you are getting closer to the horizon, as you can see over here, that means it's going to be a little bit more flat. See? can see if I draw it over here, I'm going to see a little bit less of the top. See? If I were to finish this one, you can see the middle is going to be over there, right? Now this is important to understand, right? The closer you're going to get to your eye height, because this is my eye height, see? Whoop. The less you're going to be able to see of this area over here, right? It's going to be less. The lower you get, the more you're going to be able to see. So that is something to really keep in mind, right? So if you wanted to turn this into something else, for example, if you want to turn this guy now into a cylinder, you can do that too. Oh, am I going through the thing? Yeah, let me do this better. Hold up. Here. If I wanted to turn this one into a cylinder, for example, I could do that like this. Then I know what to do, right? I know, okay, well, it's going to be here and here and here and here ish. So it's going to look something like this. Oh, going to look something like this. Cool. So then this one is going to look a lot more flat. That is what I'm trying to get you to understand, right? Because it's going to change. Here we go. And then for this one here. So it's going to become a little bit difficult actually to see, right? Because this oval is going to be super flat. Whoa, see? And that is because we're getting closer to the horizon. That makes sense? Okay. Now, I'm gonna just turn this guy, instead of this one being a pyramid, we're just gonna do this thing. It's gonna be easier, doesn't matter. I know you know how to do a pyramid, it's not difficult. Look. Then if you go a little bit up, for example, over here, and I'll do it in black, then you can connect this one to this one. Then we can do a cone, for example, see? Like this. And let's make this one into something super special. Let's go. In three-dimensional drawing, we just copied the same line, right? We just said, okay, you do exactly the same line and then you're good. But that is something we cannot do over here because of this. Look. If you get lower, what's going to happen is the warping is going to become a little bit more extreme. Here, I'll show you. Let's go all the way down. Oh, am I here? Let's go. Let's go all the way down till here. Let's go all the way down to here. Hoppa. See? Because it's lower, it's going to be more open. What does that mean? Is that the oval shape is going to be different on the top and on the bottom, right? So if I were to finish off this whole system again, I'll just do it super quick like this. Those are my red and green ones, whatever. It's gonna look a lot more. It's gonna be more visible, see? It's not exactly the same, see? That makes sense? Good. Okay. So draw those ones, please. And then we'll just for fun put something in the sky over here. Why not, right? At the end, I'll make them all easy visible for you guys. Okay. So let's do a pyramid in the sky. Oh, wrong side. Here we go. And here we go. Oop. And here we go. Some sort of flying pyramid. Like this. This is really just for you guys to understand a little bit how to do it, right? So if this was a pyramid from the bottom, it would look something like this. It would be a little flying pyramid. I'll make it all a little bit black, so it's a little bit easier to see. That makes sense? I think it does. Okay, so those are the things I would like you to draw, right? Now, I'm going to give you one more thing. So I'll leave up these, no, I'll get rid of these lines over here, because you know that they need to go to the point, I think. Oops. I just leave them, some of them up. Here we go. Get rid of this stuff. Oops. Just trying to keep it visible, you know, for you guys. So here we go. Oh, wrong button. Okay, so we have those, right? So this is the bottom. Okay, so I'll add for you some clouds over here. So we know that this is gonna be the sky. And this is gonna be the ground. See, some grass. That is basically what we're looking at. Okay, now can you do like a little cylinder that is turning? Yeah, you can. Those are the hard ones, so that's why I'm giving you another one of those. So let's say start over here a little bit. Then I go to here a little bit. And this one too. Then I'm gonna go here to the right. 2 times like this. Then I go over here. Whoop. And then I go, that is actually all I need for now. Here we go. And here we go. Do another red one. See? This is why we started with 3D, guys, because now it's very easy for me to show you and you already understand, right? Cool. So this one is going to have the same thing happening here. I find the highest point, I go to here, I find the point where I can connect it, which is going to be over here, right? So it keeps on getting smaller that way. But this also is going to have a difference in warping, right? Because, just want to show you, they're not going to be exactly the same on both sides. The front oval is going to be different than the back oval. Here. Whoop. Here we go. This is what is going to happen. Here. There. And this one goes here. So it's going to be slightly different. Whoop. Because things are warping, right? So the back side is different than the front side, as you can see. See, I started off with a shape that looks relatively square in the front, and as we bring it farther to the back, it does not look so square anymore. It looks a little bit more like a rectangle, see? And that's gonna give me a oval that is slightly different than the front one. And then I try to connect those two things, like this, and like this, right? So, this is the same problem that you're always gonna have with ovals, right? So, the easy way to do it is to just do the front one and then just say, okay, well, I'm doing an oval. I find out, for example, that the front one is supposed to look a little bit like, let's say this, for example. Then I would just do this. Whoops. And then I would say, okay, I'll make this one a little bit more slightly different. It's gonna look a little bit better, right? So you can get away with cheating a little bit if you want, because if you're really gonna have to do this for every single shape or every single form, is so much work, right? It's not fun. Just know that this one and this one are not gonna be exactly the same. That is the main trick, right? Okay. So those are things I want you to draw. Now, I want to show you one more thing. Actually, yeah, one more. Here we go. Choop. Off. Okay. So this also means this. You don't have to draw it, but I want you to see it so that you understand. Look, if I draw this, for example, and I draw a thing like this, and like this, and I go here and here, and here, and here, whoop, and here, cool, then I go this way, and this way, and this way. Then basically I have a box, a see-through box, right? Okay. So that means this. Whoop. This is what I have, right? So if I wanted to draw, for example, a oval shape, and I'll just quickly sketch it for you, just so you have an idea. Look, let's say this one would look like this. Oops. And this one would look something like this. Oh, a little bit more straight. Then look, if I were to connect those like this, then it might get confusing, but then this would be what you could see. See? I could see something like this. So a cylinder that is like above your eyes will look somewhat up like this, right? I hope that makes sense. See? Try and do a little bit more clear. Up. It's getting a little bit more messy, I'm sorry. Cool. See? So if this was like a glass, for example, you would say, okay, well, this would be here, right? You can see a little bit inside like that. Now, depending on how high the next oval is, gonna look different. If I wanted to draw another oval over here, it would look a lot more flat, right? Because I get a lot closer to my point, see? Like here, it would look something like this probably, right? And a little bit lower, it would look like a little bit in between those two things. Oh, that's too much actually, see? Try and find a little bit bigger, see? So the lower something gets away from the horizon, the more rounded this is gonna be, right? So this one would look super flat again. Here we would go like a little bit more open. Oh, I'm a little bit off, I'm so sorry. That's what I mean. Drawing ovals is the worst, see? But you can see essentially they keep on changing shape. I hope you understand what I'm trying to show you, right? So keep that in mind. And if you want it to look like it's nice on the ground, then make sure, in this case, you really go for things that are on the ground. Make sure you go 90 degrees. That is really key. If you want to draw something that is round, make sure that this is flat on the ground, because up and down doesn't change. It does not 100% work with this. Like the 90 degree does not 100% work with this. It sort of does, but it doesn't fully, right? So keep that in mind. It's a little bit more of a search when you're trying to do it in perspective. It's not as easy as it is in 3D drawing, where you can just say, oh, okay, well, you go exactly 90 degrees and you're good, right? Because that doesn't really work over here. It sort of does, like if there was like a little car here, for example. Oops. We have to keep in mind sort of which way it's going, right? So we could say, okay, we're going here, so I guess it sort of would be this way. But it is, yeah. Sometimes it gets warped, so keep in check. It should sort of come from here-ish, right? That is the trick. Okay, so what do we need to draw? We need to draw these different things. These are the things I would like you to add to your drawing, right? Okay, excellent. I will upload this video and then we're gonna do the house together. Yes, perfect.